Hey guys, how you doing? This is Chris and welcome back to a new episode of Tea Talk. I apologize for not doing an 8-month update, but honestly there wasn't really a lot to report in that month, but I think there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on because this month things are happening, so I'll definitely be sure to combine the 8th and 9th month together, because if eight months there wasn't really enough changes to do a standalone video for that. But today I wanted to talk about my transition in a different perspective. My transition is more than just injecting myself in the thigh every 10 days. It's more than that to me. Prior to transitioning, I felt completely hopeless and limited, and then after my first T, I felt limitless. Like the possibilities were endless. I could do whatever and I could be whatever, and I had the confidence finally to allow myself to do that. It was kind of like that movie Lucy. Have you guys seen it? When, you know, she's goes from like using 1% of her brain to 3%. That's kind of how, like, you know, the first couple of months of being on T was for me. It was very overwhelming. Like my brain was thinking thoughts that I never even, you know, allowed myself to think or allowed myself to dream and just to be free. That's what it really feels like. It feels like I'm allowing myself the freedom to be who I want to be. So with that being said, prior to T, I was kind of doing things that I thought I should be doing, or I thought people wanted me. I was doing things that I thought people wanted me to do. So, you know, I thought getting married was appropriate because, you know, that's what you should do. You should get married, have kids, blah, blah, blah. You know, then now that you're married, you should buy a house, you know, and, you know, I was really sick of the rent hikes, to be completely honest with you. But that's what I feel like, you know, that's what grown-ups should do. This is adulting. But now I feel like the decisions that I've made in the past have a clear purpose, and now I have a clear purpose of the decisions I will make in the future. So that's what T has given me. That's what this transition has really been focusing on for me mentally. That's what I've been focusing on, I should say. So if you guys have followed my previous videos, I had mentioned that I'm reading the book Motivation Manifesto by Brendan Bashad. I'll put the picture up here again. And in his book, in one of the chapters, he asks the following question. I'm gonna look down and read it. It says, if I were to die tomorrow, how would I want others to remember me? What exact words and phrases would I be happy to hear them use to describe me? And for some reason, this sent me in like a spiral for like hours, like me just thinking about the legacy that I want to leave. Just, you know, should I, you know, be called back home? How are people gonna perceive me, and how are they gonna remember me? So I wrote down a few things. I'll read them again. I wrote down just some of them. Loving, happy, funny, fun, strong sense of integrity, level-headed, patient, encourager, teacher, smart, and that I never settled. So those are the things that I want to really make sure that I become. That's the legacy that I want to leave behind. So that got me thinking, all right, well, if this is who I want to become, this is how I should be behaving now. So I made goals for myself in the following areas: mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. So this is kind of like a transition progress report from my perspective. You guys feel free to leave your comments below. You know, maybe you've noticed something that I haven't. But mentally, I've been doing pretty good. I've still been meditating. I actually started that Oprah and Deepak 21-day meditation, which has been really cool to do. I've still been using Headspace, and just still been reading books to really just expand my thought process and really solidify and edify, like, you know, the path that I'm leading myself to, like being the man that, you know that I can be. So I have to, you know, start today. But the only area that I've really been slacking, in my opinion, has been socially. And then I'll go into this quick story time. So I'm not a confrontational person. However, with T, my fuse is a little bit shorter, especially when it comes to, like, you know, just being disrespected and just, just seeing certain injustices. So very recently, I'll talk about two recent events that have happened. Recently, I encountered a woman who was, to gently put it, she was less than pleasant. And, I had been meditating, like I have all these tools in my toolbox, so I'm like, okay, I see her vibe, it's not my vibe. I know that we're not gonna really, mesh well, so let me keep my distance and, we'll just keep it moving like that. But I had to endure this woman for hours. And I was doing really, really good. I was even hangry and doing really, really good being patient with this person. And then at the end of it, like when I was almost at the finish line, like I lost it. And I didn't lose it outwardly, but I lost it internally. And like this woman really left me unhinged. I was fuming. I haven't felt rage like this like ever in my existence, I don't believe. And God, she was just really unpleasant. I really did try. Like I called upon Jesus, I called upon all the 12 disciples to get me through this evening with this woman. And I made it, but internally I didn't make it. And I was really disappointed in myself and how I allowed her to like basically veer me off the course, you know what I mean? And before this transition, one of my friends said, "What's up, Marisol?" She asked me, "All right, so you're transitioning, so are you gonna become a shitbag?" And I laughed, but then I really that became like a legitimate fear of mine. Like, okay, I don't wanna be the guys that I despise. I wanna be a different type of man. And I was doing so good. I was doing so good. And she just completely derailed me. And I went to that shitbag place just for a little bit. But I brought it back and and I forgave myself, and now I know how to handle difficult people like that. But that was just an experience that was an energy I've never felt before, and just completely threw me for a whirlwind. And I was pretty disappointed, because I don't ever want to go to that place with anybody. You know what I mean? Like I want to stay true to my path. I want to be one of the good ones, you know what I mean? But I understood Chris Rock when you just shake somebody. I really just wanted to give her a strong shaking. I really did. Oh, she was tough. Okay, but moving on. And then the second instance where I didn't do too hot was today. It was today. So today, I'm listening to praise and worship on the way, not because I needed to, but because I wanted to. So I'm jamming in the car. So I'm in a good positive space. And who do I run to? One of the energy vampires. That's what I call them, energy vampires. They just want to suck the positivity like as soon as you walk in the door. So I was like, okay, I see what his game is. So I kind of just swerve on him, and I'm like, have a great day, blah, blah, blah. But then I saw who I was working with, and I just lost it. And I was like, are you effing kidding me? Because I was preparing myself for one, I call them the terribles, but I was preparing for one terrible, but I had two. And I was disappointed in myself again, because that initial reaction, if I'm, I know it's a process and all that, but for me, I'm like, all right, you've been doing this for a minute now, trying to be patient and calm and everything like that. But those instances, all my teaching, my whole toolbox, I just threw it at those people, literally. Well, not literally, but like in my mind, I threw my toolbox at these people and disappointed myself in the process. So, this month and going forward, I'm going to really focus on, maintaining my cool, keeping my chill, and not let these people affect me in that way, and try and change the person that I'm trying to become. Because I know it's just the enemy trying, he sees where I'm going and wants to knock me off the path, but no, I'm still going. So that's mentally not so hot. I'm gonna give myself about a C+ right now, but I'm progressing to an A, hopefully. Physically, I've been doing pretty good. I've been staying consistent, and I actually started working out with my son, which is really cool because it gives us a chance to bond and get strong together, which is awesome, because it's just really tightening the family bond that we have. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty much all I'm gonna say about that. Spiritually, I have been lacking a little, but I noticed that last week, so I've been making modifications. So, I dusted off my Bible, not that it was dusty, but I dusted off my Bible, definitely increased the praise and worship, prayer, you know, just basically the normal stuff, just to make sure that, you know, I'm in line, because that's probably why I'm getting these challenges, because they know I'm not 100%, you know, plugged in. So that's when they try and sneak in. I just answered my own question. So now that I'm back plugged in, I'm gonna hopefully, you know, avoid those situations in the future. All right, financially, of course, there's always room for improvement, but after reading this book and thinking about my legacy and my mortality, like, I really want, you know, when I leave this earth, I really want Carter to, honestly, I want her to be one of those like trust fund babies. Like, I want her to be able to be like on one of those reality TV shows, but like with home training, and not have her worry about, you know, financial stuff. I want her to like really work on, like, you know, her dreams, her goals, you know, her spiritual journey, her physical journey if she has one, whatever. But I want that not to be a concern for her, and I want her to know that, you know, even though I'm still not here, like, I want her to know that I'm still taking care of her even though I'm not physically present. So those are the things that I'm kind of thinking about right now. You know, this whole transition has been really cerebral for me. It hasn't been like, the physical stuff is cool, but the mental stuff, I feel like that's all the changes that matter for me. You know what I mean? It's really changed me inside and out, and hopefully, you know, you guys can see, you know, the physical manifestations of all the changes that are happening internally, because it's crazy in here. All this crazy, it's crazy. But I hope you guys like this video. Be sure to comment below any thoughts you might have on what I've said so far, and I will see you guys next time.